It only takes a moment, a look, a change in direction, a choice, the start of something. What if you chose and didn't choose at all? Let's talk about it. Well, what? I feel like that was anyway. Hello. Hi. I don't know what I'm saying. I feel really weird today. Hi. Welcome to Tequila Hour. My name is Amanda. Yes, I feel weird because I'm recording this on a Monday. It is Monday, the 16th of March, 2026. It's actually 4:32 here in Australia. Yeah, that's right. In Australia, in New South Wales, in the secret location. I'm actually on my second drink, maybe because I'm not drunk enough. That's what I'm going with. I don't know. I was going to say perplexed. That's not the word. I just tell you, I just burnt some Palo Santo. I don't know. That's all I could smell and my mind is racing at the moment. I don't know if that's just created something. Anyway, like I said, yeah, there's a lot to unpack and, yeah, I'm not going to unpack it all. Clearly. But I have to talk about this concept, and it came to me as part of a conversation I was having with someone in regards to a moment, or have you experienced a moment in your life where, just like the movie Sliding Doors, which I'm not going to talk about the movie in its entirety, but basically Helen, who is Gwyneth Paltrow, if you've never seen the movie, she goes to catch a train. In one kind of storyline, she misses the train, and in the other storyline that are played out in the movie at both times, she actually catches the train. And then it, goes through what those choices are on both storylines to the end of the movie. It's actually quite darker than I remembered. But I just remembered having this conversation with someone, can't speak, with someone in regards to a comment that they made, and the movie Sliding Doors is the first thing that came to mind. So I want to talk about that today. But first, I'll get my bearings. If you see, I don't know what I'm saying. Can I blame retrograde? I don't know. A lot of people do. No, I will get my bearings. I will calm down. I will, find my chi. We will get into it. But first, you know what we've got to do, motherfuckers. Let's do some motherfucking admin. Let's go. Boom. Yeah, I need to do some admin. Clearly. Because I'm not on my shit. Let's go over a couple of things. First of all, I was going to record a podcast at the Fullerton last Friday. I boasted about it. Ye boasty over here. Boasted like a pirate. Yo. Yar. Is that yar? Yeah. Anyway, like a pirate, that I was going to do a podcast at the Fullerton. Now, I will tell you, and you probably don't believe me, I don't give a fuck. I actually took all my equipment, set it up on the desk. It didn't even happen. Look, it was an interesting Friday, okay? I was feeling exhausted. When I say I was tired, I wasn't tired. I was exhausted. And by the time I'd finished work and studied and had lunch and had a little wander around and then came back, I just didn't want to do anything. So it didn't happen. So hence, a conversation had occurred that same night, which, if I'd had my shit, I'm swallowing deeply, if I had my shit together and I wasn't so tired, I probably would have recorded a podcast. I really was in the mood to record one. But, at the same time, I'm like, I'm just too fucked. So that did not happen. So it will still happen. I will record. And it wasn't in 2301 either. I was actually in 709. So maybe that was some like, oh, I'm off. Oh, I can't access the portal. No. So no, I didn't record. Yeah, you'll get over it, I'm sure. The week that was. Yeah, I had a week. It was good. It sounds dramatic. I had a great week. It was fine. There's nothing really to report. Nothing to report uni-wise, nothing really to report work-wise. I mean, there's a couple of things that kind of agitated me. Who doesn't get agitated at work? Let's be honest. Not anything traumatic. Though, moving into the weekend, yes, I was in Sydney on Friday evening. Yes, this is part of the reason why I'm doing the podcast today, because of a conversation. And then on Saturday, I went out. I don't know why I paused then. I went out to Newcastle, so that might give my secret. Well, I've kind of told you where the secret location is, but anyway, went to Newcastle, went out with two girlfriends who are fucking legends, may I say. Had a great night, had a couple of drinks. Probably drunk more than I needed to. Who gives a fuck? Had a great talk, rambled on for quite some time. And then pretty much passed out in the hotel. Sunday, by the time I got to Sunday, I was buggered, mate. From all this trouble and frivolity that was happening over the weekend, I was done. So, yeah, that was the week that has gone, and now we're into a new week. And, yeah, I wanted to still record a podcast. So, yeah, it's a little different, day, shall we say. A little different time, but yet we can still record it, still talk about it. First, though, I clearly need to have a drink. Give me a second. Bam, bam. Okay. The end. Why did I title this podcast? Oh, first of all, look, I'm so rude. Welcome. If you've never listened to this podcast before, this is the Tequila Hour. My name is Amanda. I am Australian. This podcast is just about life shit, mate. It's about my life. It could be about anything from quantum physics to makeup to the movie Sliding Doors. It could be about Palo Santo. It could be about trees. It could be about everything. It's about anything and everything that, conjures in my expansive mind that I'm motivated to discuss. It's all an encompassing, shall we say. So for any new listener, hi, welcome. For those who have been playing along for some time, thank you. And if you are new, you would probably ascertain that, yeah, I like a drink. So if you do have the opportunity to listen to this podcast while you're relaxing at home, and I hope you are, then, yeah, grab yourself a drink with me. Right now I'm drinking tequila. It's not Patron, unfortunately. So fresh. It's tequila. It's really nice. I'll add it to the description of this podcast for you if you're interested. Just with a bit of sugar-free lemon solo. That's it. That's what I'm drinking. So grab yourself a drink. If you need a snack, grab a snack. And, yeah, sit back and listen as I talk about sliding doors. Now, straight into it. Oh, serious shit. Why am I talking about that? Okay, as part of a conversation I had with someone quite late, and when I say late, I didn't go to sleep till 3:30 in the morning, which was Saturday morning. Okay, which I actually enjoyed the conversation very much. It flowed freely. It was very comfortable. It was interesting. And, yeah, I was encapsulated is the word that comes to mind. Maybe I was encapsulated. I was very interested. And at one point, the person I was speaking to made a comment which I noted in an Instagram post or story, whatever you call it. whatever, Insta, around mirroring in the sense of you are the mirror image of me. And I was like, am I? I don't think I am because I'm a girl. No, you are the mirror image of me. And straight away when this person said that, I immediately in my mind thought about the movie Sliding Doors and the concept of, one singular moment that for whatever reason, you miss something or you make a decision about something and it changes the trajectory of everything, of your entire life. Even though in the movie Sliding Doors that I've mentioned, in this podcast today, the main character being Gwyneth Paltrow, even though there's two paths to her life and the choice of, which was out of her choice where she missed the train or she caught the train, that the lines, even though they were very different, they were very similar in the sense of the people and the characters that were involved, but obviously completely different storyline. It's a great movie. I like I said, which I just mentioned, it's a really dark movie actually, when you think about it and you think about the end. Like, I forgot that happened. Yeah, it's really quite dark. I'm like, I don't know if I want to compare the movie Sliding Doors to this moment where someone tells me they are the mirror image of my life or I am the mirror image of their life. And yet saying that, there is that. So is it the same? Are we the mirror image? I mean, if we were to say we're the mirror image in the sense that I'm female and he's male, then the equivalent, I don't know, feminine, masculine, I don't know. But yeah, I want to talk about it today because I think we've all been there where, and I think I've even touched on this in other podcasts previously, where you make a particular choice, but in essence, if you're talking about the fork of a road and you've got right or left, it can be where choosing one versus the other can have quite substantial different outcomes to, say, just choosing the right path every single time, like as in right, not as in the correct. So, yeah, I wanted to talk about that today because it's funny how that was what was triggering, and it in my mind I straight away went to the movie Sliding Doors because I do feel like that at the moment where not really in essence that I'm like Helen the character, and I fucking hope I'm not. Wait a minute, someone's messaged. Let me just make sure I'm not missing anything. No, I'm not. That, yes, is my life like the movie Sliding Doors? No. Let's not get carried away. And I will talk about that just so for context so you understand, because that's not, my life is not the movie Sliding Doors. Though I do, and I have discussed this at times where most recently I do feel like I'm living multiple timelines at the same time, which is clearly exhausting in some moments of my life. I think by Friday, as an example, Friday afternoon, I was fucking bugging, mate. I have touched on this in the sense that I do have a bit going on in my life at the moment where I've made some life choices and I'm exploring those life choices, which, hand on heart, hand up to the sky, I made the choice. Though I will acknowledge that it is tiring, probably because I am someone who's very emotionally invested. So therefore, finding a good life-work balance, shall we say, can be at times challenging, and I will ignore it until it taps me on the shoulder and goes, fuck you, Amanda, like I got sick not that long ago. So there's a bit of that going on. And I do recall like really a particular moment where I felt like I was living in like an alternative universe where I did feel like there was like very clear, distinct, and even thinking about it now as I'm talking to you, very clear, distinct, separate timelines happening, but they're all intertwined, but they're not the same. It's very hard to describe, and I don't know if you've been in that situation where that is happening. It could be, relatable to, you have your work life, which is very separate to your home life, which is very separate to your personal life. Your inner world, which is separate to your outer world. Your personal life separate to your family life for those who have big families and they're dealing with all of that kind of shit that I'd have to deal with. Separate to anything they've got going on in, say, their most interpersonal relationships, say that be with your husband or wife, for an example. So this is what I'm talking about today. And, yeah, I will talk about the movie Sliding Doors first because this is not my life. My life isn't like Gwyneth Paltrow, but in the movie Sliding Doors. But in saying that, though, I really do, and I know I've touched on this. For those who don't know, I am a quite spiritual person, and it is also something that I am working on personally as well, simultaneously to all the shit that I seem to like working on at the same time. But opening myself up to a level of spirituality where I'm comfortable in what I have an understanding of now at the moment, but yet still like intrigued, in awe, trying to go in wide, eyes wide open and just trying to understand. So that's probably where I'm at the moment. And that probably leads into that conversation around, that conversation around feeling like I'm living two very different lives, but completely aware of them at the same time. And there has been, in some of the things that I watch on YouTube in regards to the people that I follow, that, yes, there is a bit of that going on at the moment. And, yeah, I've never experienced it at the level I'm experiencing it now. I would say to you that I have experienced it in the past, but not to this intensity. And I would say that that's more than likely due to who I am now as a person and, my level of toolkit, shall we say, for a simple term, that I now hold and am able to explore. So that's where we're at. But I first want to touch about, from Wikipedia, I'm reading this, by the way, the movie Sliding Doors, which, if you don't know, which is, again, I actually like the movie, but it's, yeah, after reading, I'm like, fuck, that's a bit dark. Sliding Doors is a 1998 romantic comedy drama film written and directed by Peter Howitt. It stars Gwyneth Paltrow and features John Hannah, John Lynch, and Gian Triplehorn. Oh, yeah, from Basic Instinct, which I watched the other night at 3:30 in the morning. Side note, the film alternates between two storylines showing two paths. The central character's life could be depending on which or whether she catches a train. So interesting concept. I really like that. That it's you could just use the analogy of a lift, even, which talks about in this the plot as well. That you miss the lift, and I know you by chance meet the person that is the love of your life, or you're in the lift and you meet them, or you miss the lift and you don't. And then, they're the two funicular, is that the word? No. But the two courses of life that you could be taken down just through the fact of hopping in a lift or not. The example here is the train, which is very cool, actually. So basically what happens is she misses the train or she catches the train. That's really the essence, I suppose, at the start of it, where in one storyline the character Helen, she meets James, okay, who's a character like, so this obviously it's about relationships. It's romantic. Well, it's not comedy. Is it romantic comedy? No, it can't be. It must be romantic drama. It says comedy drama. It's a drama. It's not comedy. I don't know how they come up with this shit. So she meets James, a character she's never met before, in a lift, right? And then by chance, she happens to then, she hops on the train and she meets him again. And then that becomes the storyline. In the other storyline, she actually gets to the train station, but she actually misses the train. And therefore she ends up going home, and then she finds out, that unfortunately her partner, which I think she knew or she didn't know or she had an inkling, is been cheating on her, and then that goes through a quite complicated course of her life, basically being shit for a period of time. And then it kind of all, I suppose the easiest way to describe it, all loops around to the back to, I suppose it's trying to a circle where in both timelines she ends up being pregnant, one to the boyfriend who's, cheating on her, one to this dude that she meets. And then, which I completely forgot about, which is really dark, that she ends up having in the James, shall we say, timeline, she's pregnant and then she gets hit by a car and dies. What? Or another one, I think she loses the baby or something, but then she meets him in the hospital, but then I don't know. It's just, she lives a life. That's right. Is that right? Yes, that's right. In the other timeline, through the shitty life that she has to go through with the stupid ex-partner, whatever, and she gets the shit together and, whatever, she ends up meeting James anyway in the hospital. It's just it's very well done. It's really interesting in regards to, I suppose it leads into the concept of the butterfly effect, which is another movie actually, which was actually a really good movie too. But yeah, the butterfly effect, that, the cause and causation of one moment and the ripple effect of that moment on another moment or another person's life or your own life. Yeah, interesting theme. So it's not the same when I say to you, as part of this conversation, this person said to me that I was their mirror image and, in feminine form. Yes, there is similar elements in our lives that are happening that are similar, but they're not the same. And it then, I suppose for me, it brought up, as I'm talking about it now on this podcast, a lot of things where I don't know this person really at all, though I feel comfortable with them, but where I don't know. And this is the thing. Then it comes down to which, if I want to go back a step and talk about the previous podcast. Why did I suddenly have an accent? Oh, we're weird. The previous podcast called Obsession, and encourage you to listen it. By the way, it's weird. Self-promotion when you're doing a podcast feels weird. I'm just saying. Okay, I'm all for G'ing myself up, but when you're doing it on live on a podcast and you're recording, you're like, that feels weird. Anyway, just so you know, go and listen to the episode is what I'm trying to fucking say. Anyway, Obsession. And I talked about a person I was obsessed with that I never met, okay, which is, again, I'm not going to go into it because I'll just start laughing. In the end, actually, I do need to go into it because I need to round that out. Fuck, I'm glad I remembered. Yes. That's what I'm saying. Too many timelines, bitch. Yes, in that podcast, I did say that I made an ultimatum to that person, didn't I? Shit. I completely forgot that I did that. Wow. Who am I? I don't know. Give me a second. I'm going to play some music. I'm going to grab a drink because clearly I need another one, or maybe I don't, but I don't give a fuck. And, yeah, we're going to talk about the ultimatum and we're going to talk about the outcome. Give me a second. I'm going to stop. And I'm back. First of all, may I say the Palo Santo is giving me a fucking headache. I don't know why. Maybe there's a reason why. I grabbed another drink. Yeah, let's just center our tree for a second. The ultimatum. So in the podcast Obsession, I did say that I was given someone, I had divulged and given someone an ultimatum. No, they did not accept the ultimatum, which I had an inkling pretty much, at 99% knew what was going to happen, but thought, fuck it, I'll do it anyway. So I got the answer that I required, shall we say, and that has then created the hard stop that now is in that circumstance. So, yes, that probably leads into the podcast and probably part of the reason why I didn't do a podcast on Friday, because the ultimatum did contain a component of the Fullerton and me meeting that particular person there, which didn't happen. Now, was I upset about it, which is a really good question that I'm just asking myself live. Look, I was a little bit, but when I think about it in all its entirety, I actually wasn't. No, I wasn't that upset about it, to be honest. And this is the thing, we're now expanding that thought process. Then, really, how are you going to be that involved and upset with something that wasn't ever there anyway, to be honest? But yeah, so the ultimatum, it worked. It worked in the sense that I had my answer and that's what I was looking for. So no, nothing happened. I've got nothing to The answer is clear, is the answer that I received, and thank you. I receive it loud and clear, shall we say. So yeah, probably there was a part of that as the component of being fucking tired on last Friday at the Fullerton, because I was fucking over it. Anyway, so the conversation, separate to the ultimatum and the mirror image and sliding doors, is it's interesting where now, and I did think about this when I was thinking about that other person in reference to the ultimatum, where you in your life, you meet someone, it can be anyone, okay? It doesn't have to be a man, okay? It could be anyone. It could be your friend's mum. I don't know. It could be anyone. I don't know why I said that, your friend's mum. Actually, I kind of do, but you don't need to know. Yes, it can be anyone, okay? Any motherfucker you meet, all right? Where for whatever reason they resonate something within you. There's something that for me, I'm very, what shall I say? Let me have a quick sip of a drink. Bit of ASMR for you. Give me a second. Mm-hmm. ASMR. Is that still a thing? I don't know. Anyway, I don't know. What was I saying? Yes. You find someone, you meet someone, it doesn't matter who they are, but you find someone and for whatever reason there is a psychological, in my opinion, component. Now, it could be just psychological in nature where for whatever reason, you're at the tuck shop. I don't know what's coming up with this shit in my mind. You're at the tuck shop at the swimming pool and you've just come out of the pool and you're buying a Redskin lolly thing. Do they still exist? I don't know. Where's this coming from? Where is this coming from in my psyche? Fuck. Yeah, you're at the pool and, you're buying a Redskin. I don't know if they have them over. They probably don't. Do they still call them that? Oh, God. Anyway, fucking whatever. It's a raspberry lolly thing, okay? Fuck. And, you look up and, I don't know, the girl's really hot and you start a conversation. I don't know. I don't know where that came from, but all I know is for whatever reason, you met this person randomly at the fucking pool tuck shop, okay? Don't ask me why. I don't know why you were buying lollies and you saw a hot woman and then you started. I don't know. That's not what it's about. What it's about, though, is just the randomness of meeting someone in your life at a particular time when you're on a particular journey, shall we say, where if you believe in any of that, because a lot of people will be like, Amanda, you're full of shitto, I would say to you, get fucked. It's just not the podcast for you. I believe in it. I do believe in I was going to say integrity, but I don't know if that's really the word that probably describes what I'm trying to say. You know, that through the course of trying to have a greater understanding of, you know, your emotional, spiritual, intellectual journey that you are on as a person, if you're that way inclined, you will happen to come across people just through attrition. For me, there's people I've met at work that I met for a long time ago and now I work with them. I work with them because I made a choice, but there's a particular reason why I work with those people. You could say then, you know, that can expand out to people in your life. It can expand out to people in your family. It could expand out to the random stranger at the tuck shop at the pool. I believe in that. I believe through resonance is probably the easiest way to describe it, through not unconscious, or it could be unconsciousness, but through the consciousness of space and time, that, you know, that magnetic field, we attract things that we need to work on or explore or understand. You know, we're all resonating an energy field around us that I absolutely 100% believe, acknowledge. I'll put my hand up. If you don't, this is probably not the podcast for you. But I do. I believe that we do. My life's work's around it. So this is the thing where, for me, I am very engaged in that thought, feeling, understanding of, and, you know, the great analogy that always comes to mind for me when I'm talking about these things to myself in my mind personally is The Sound of Music, believe it or not, where there's a scene where Maria's talking to the head, I can't even think of a name, but the head nun, I don't know her name, but whatever. She talks about, you know, and Marie starts singing. We won't go into it, but basically where God closes a door, he opens a window is the crux of what I'm trying to get at. And I always, that whatever reason, that particular line and that particular moment, and it's quite visceral in my mind and very clear, applies to meeting people in your life that for whatever reason they are that mirror. For whatever reason, where I've given an ultimatum to someone and, you know, I kind of knew what the answer was going to be. At the same time, I didn't, you know, in one aspect, again, the sliding doors where, yeah, I could have easily gone down one path if the path had presented itself and I was perhaps looking forward to knowing what that path was, yet knowing that that path wasn't going to really ever be presented to me. And therefore the ultimatum wasn't, and the outcome of that process wasn't, you know, as harsh or devastating, which is quite a big word, but, or dramatic or cumbersome, I don't know, I'm coming out all these words. It wasn't as bad as I thought it would be, probably because I knew the outcome in some semblance, shall we say, but also that I was comfortable with that because untoward to myself in its entirety, I was already attracting something or manifesting something else. Again, if you believe in this or you don't, but this is what I believe in, that perfect, beautiful example I always think of where he closes a door, God closes a door, but he opens a window. And that it's never done. There's always something. There's another opportunity. There's another course. There's another road. There's another whatever. It's not, you make one decision and you're fucked, is what I'm trying to say. There's always the opportunity for something, but I'm expanding even further to say that with my life and the choices that I've made and the things that I'm exploring and, like I said, this year, we're all about it, mate. We're into it fucking full force. That I know that who those people might be for me, I really don't know, and I'd love to know, and I probably will understand one day. But I'm being looked after, and I don't know what that looks like, but all I know is that, at 3:30 at the morning, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning when I was speaking to this person and we're texting, that that was a statement that came out, and I'm like, that's interesting. And this is where I am today, and I'm talking about it. So a mirror image. Now, it's interesting for a man to say that you're a mirror image of them. And you could look at that in two ways. For me, I look at that not just on the surface of you're a man, I'm a woman, and we have very similar themes in our lives and what we're discussing right at this moment at, 2 o'clock or 1 o'clock in the morning while watching Basic Instinct. I was watching. I don't know if they were watching. I don't know what they were doing. They were in another country, by the way. That it's very interesting to me that I, even saying it out loud, where there is that element of male or female, feminine, masculine, for me, similar themes in our lives, yet I don't know this person. I don't know what their life is. I can't even compare my life to theirs because my life is my life and we haven't even discussed my life in totality. And I don't know their life in totality. There is only a couple of things that we have similar in the end, right? Expanding out on that, though, is a thought of, well, I'm having this conversation right now because whoever, the universe, however you want to describe it, your guides, God, anything, however you feel comfortable with your spiritual space and what you describe it as. And I don't know what that space is for me completely, so I don't like labeling it because I think it's so vast. So that's why I don't label it as one entity. That I really want to know what they are. I'm down. Tell me. If you want to come and visit, let's go. No, that, and it's probably going to be a life journey. Damn you. No, I'm up for it, whatever. Yes, that whatever that is for you is basically handing you a plate and going, here you go. And yeah, we've got your back and we hear what you're trying to, we're feeling what you're putting down, okay? If you want to call that manifestation, if you want to call that resonance, if you want to call that two souls that have been trying to find the answer for what they're looking for and somehow they find the answer in each other. This is where we're at. So, and this is the thing when I talk about sliding doors, because there's a very similar theme in that when I'm talking about that, but at the same time, it's not about that. So let me just put on some music. I need a drink. Give me a sec. Anyway, so mirroring. There's a whole thing. And again, I just want to premise this. I'm not a psychologist at all. Okay? It's in the, I was going to say warning. Warning. I need that as a smash pad. That would be awesome. No, it's not a warning. Disclaimer is the word I'm looking for. I'm not a psychologist or a psychiatrist, okay? This information I'm going to read to you now is a Google Google search. I'm going to read it and then, you make of it as you will. But it's not only, like I just mentioned then, and I'll just reiterate what I just said. Yes, you could see it that it's just, by chance it just happens to be two people meeting. Sorry, I'm just going to look at a message for a second. Distracted by my shit. Okay. Anyway. No. Two people meet for whatever reason. I believe you meet because you're trying to work something out. For me, you know what I'm trying to work. Well, you don't in its entirety know what I'm trying to work out. I don't think I've even discussed really why I'm doing some of the decisions I've made lately, to be honest. I will one day. I will. You be like, bitch. Stop talking to us. No. I honestly will. This is a place where I do want to be 100% completely transparent. Again, I will say to you that being 100% transparent at this moment of my life will not be beneficial for me. So therefore, I shan't be doing that. The end. Though I am happy to expand on things that I am that are challenging or I'm trying to understand or I'm working through, because in the end, and I've talked about this, I'm not the only one. With millions and millions and millions of people that live on this planet that we call Earth, I am not the only person who's going through similar themes and ideals and paths and consequences and all the rest of it that I am right at this moment here in Australia, okay? So, yeah, that's why I talk about it. I want to talk about the archetype? No, is that the word? I can't even say that word because I'm having a moment. It's not archetype. Anyway, I'm butchering that word, but let's just call it the mirror. The mirror. That's a great fucking name. Sorry. This is what happens. I talk about something and then I want to talk about something else. The idea of a mirror is actually really an interesting thing to talk about. Basically, what they're saying is that it's a powerful universal symbol of self-reflection. The archetypal, I don't know, I'm trying to say it again. It's just not coming out of my mouth for some reason. Maybe it doesn't want to. Righto. Powerful universal symbol of self-reflection, consciousness, and the barrier between the inner psyche and outer world. In Jung, as in Carl Jung, we know I've talked about him before. I'm really digging his shit. In psychology, it represents the mechanism for self-recognition, projecting unconscious content and navigating the individuation process, often acting as a gateway to the subconscious or otherworldly realms. Key aspects of the archetypal mirror, I think that's how you say it, self-recognition and identity. Mirrors are fundamental to the development of self-consciousness and ego identification, reflecting our persona while confronting us with the shadow or hidden aspects of the psyche. In terms of Jung, Carl Jung viewed the mirror as a tool in alchemy and dream analysis where it acts as a container for projection, allowing individuals to see unconscious content, the shadow, animus, reflected in the external world. We could talk about the strange face illusion. Mirror gazing in low light can produce illusions. I've talked about that, such as seeing monstrous faces, deceased relatives, or archetypal figures. For example, the witch, the wise old man, which are thought to be projections of dissociation, unconscious parts of self. I've talked about that, but not in the terms of strange face illusion. Portal to the unconsciousness, or unconscious, I should say. It serves as the threshold between reality and illusion, often representing a second self or other that is both familiar and alien, as described in literature and analytical psychology. And the mirror type, energetic mirror. In interpersonal dynamics, this refers to individuals who act as a perhaps unintentional reflection of others' deepest unconscious emotional truths, fostering or challenging self-awareness in others. Yep, the mirror type. Let's talk about it. That's what I really want to talk about. Like I said, the first mind, or the first inclination I had was around the movie Sliding Doors. It could, if I was to, and I just have premised the psychological or psychoanalysis of Carl Jung, then it's a mirror type. It's what I'm experiencing, and a conversation with someone who is mirroring certain aspects of my life, but their life is a mirror to my life and mine is a mirror to theirs. That's complicated. I can understand that as a concept, but I am expanding that, and perhaps I have not read all of have I read any of his novels or books or whatever? No. Carl Jung, that's who I'm talking about. Have I studied his work? No. Perhaps I should. Just add that to the list, shall I? That this person has come into my life at a time where I, in one aspect I was creating a ultimatum to one, simultaneously, like sliding doors, choices being made, and instead of going right on the path, you go left. And I've talked about that as well, where I've gone right on the path to left, where I've made certain choices in my life, especially last year, to now sit in a place where, yeah, my life is different. I am very different. I have gone through some shit. I come out the other side, and then I would not say to you that I'm in a place where I'm in shit, but I will say to you that, yeah, it's a lot of exploration. It's a lot of mindfuckery. It's a lot of, which I've explored as well, saying just going to the bottom and just sitting in the shit. And you're smelling it and you're tasting it and you're in it. I wouldn't say it's that disdain. I wouldn't say it was that uncomfortable. I would say that there is a level of uncomfortableness around these kind of things. But I want to take that out of the equation, because what I'm trying to say is, for whatever reason, this has been presented into my life and it's very different and it's very comfortable, and it's, again, I don't know if it's a projection of something that I'm wanting. I'm just like, this is what I do. Let me have a quick sip. ASMR. Hashtag ASMR. This is what I do on this podcast, all right? This is it, mate. This is now where I'm talking about shit and I'm working it out on this podcast. And whatever. The universe has got my back, okay? So whatever happens, fuck yeah. I must have a smash pad for that. Pretty sure. I just got press more. Oh, yay. I'm sure I've got an applause one here. Thank you. Yep, I'm giving myself an applause. Weird. This is a thing where, let's do it again. So that's weird. Love smash pads. Good on you, Road. Good job. Yes, that I honestly do believe that we're presented particular people on our life's journey to explore things that we're trying to explore. May they be as simple as, why you have a disdain for oranges. Again, don't ask me how my mind works. You don't like oranges, you meet someone who loves oranges. This is a simple example. For whatever reason, they help you expand your mind to perhaps think that maybe oranges are really helpful and required in your life. And I'm not saying that then you suddenly fall into love with oranges and that's all encompassing. What I'm saying is that, once upon a time prior to meeting this person or people or whatever or situation that presents itself, because the world and the universe and all what we would call, for me, I honestly don't know what that is. I can't label it because it's too vast. Honestly, it's too fucking vast. All I know is it's presented and then it's up to you to take the bait, shall we say, or to go, fuck, why is this person in love with oranges when I fucking hate oranges? And I hate oranges, okay? But somehow that person who loves oranges creates a synapse in you intertwined through resonance that gives you the opportunity to explore why you hate oranges so much. And then, you could either be hateful of oranges for the rest of time, or you might expand your thought process to go, yeah, well, perhaps I need orange. This is, okay, simple analogy for you. This is not simple. The things that I am dealing with at the moment are not simple. They are complex. They are very deep, attached to very deep emotions. Honestly, if I was to be completely, and I want to be completely honest with you, this is life-changing things that I'm doing at the moment. I'm about to cry. Complete life-changing decisions that I have made that will inevitably, pull that out of my ass, will take me down a path that I already know is there. But I need some space and time to understand myself more clearly. I'm going to put some music on for a second while I just get my shit together. Where'd that come from? That's what happens when you talk about real life shit and you sit in it. Yeah, it's going to come out. You're going to start crying. Anyway, that's why I do this podcast, isn't it? Because I do want to share that. And really, I do want people to realise you're not alone. So, yeah, these are things that are not easy. I'm not, sometimes I can be frivolous and have a laugh and you can be like, give the example of oranges. These are actually, for me, very important things that I'm exploring. Some of the subjects and things that I'm trying to understand are very deep to probably the core of me as a person, actually, to my very soul when I say that. And you'd be like, oh, please, you're being quite dramatic. I'm actually not being dramatic at all. I'm saying to you at my very central gut of my life that, yeah, it's been a long time that I've explored some of this shit and I'm exploring it, and it's like I said, it's been fucking amazing, and at the same time it's been I wouldn't say horrendous. It's not that extreme, but it has been hard because it is like I'm living sliding doors. constantly at the moment, and being mindful not to lose myself and my integrity as a human being in this process. So when, you're given the opportunity of someone who says that they're your mirror, and without hesitation, you they are, and you want to explore that, and you want to know what that is, and you don't know what it is, and you're fucking petrified, then that's what I'm talking about. We can talk about mirroring, we can talk about Carl Jung, we can talk about all that. I'm sure there is a component. Like I said, I'm not a psychologist in any way. I'm pretty confident with the level of, self-reflection and analysis that there would be an element, if I was to speak to someone in the medical field, that they would say that's what's happening. I would say get fucked because no, I wouldn't. I'd listen with an open mind, but I honestly, it's not. Look, there's a component. Okay, I'm not going to poo-poo it all. Yes, there is a component of that. But for me, it's more spiritual than that. It's more self-awareness than that. It's more a level of resonance and consciousness, and all ties back to some of those deep things that I'm working on personally, that for whatever reason, God closed a door and he opened a window. And I've said that in previous podcasts, but he's presented, excuse me, excuse me. They've presented someone to me to work on this. And I'm not remiss in acknowledging that that's what's been presented, and I don't know what that looks like. And that's why I'm kind of like, wanting to talk about that concept today, perhaps for people who are in a similar situation to mine where, they're at a crossroads. I feel like I'm talking weird. They're at a crossroads and they're trying to kind of go left or right or left. And for whatever reason, there's a gnome under the bridge and he holds your hand and takes you left. Do you know what I mean? There's a part of that that's a part of this whole conversation today. There's a part of the whole conversation of just never giving up. That's a beautiful part of this conversation where you just feel like, your back's to the wall and shit is shit, and you're fucking at the bottom of the well and you're smelling and eating the shit, and you're like, fuck off. But then for whatever reason, you look up and you actually can see steps and you can get out of the well. That's what I'm saying. There's many different levels to this and this conversation that I'm having today. But it's not even that. And like there's the concept of mirroring, but there's just that ideal or idealist thought process around just that making that one choice of that lift and hopping in the lift or missing the train, or I don't know, just so many examples you can think of where, one door closes and another door opens. It's just a beautiful, amazing, integral part of life that I think a lot of people need to slow down, which is hard because life is hard. Okay. Separate to what I'm talking about today, I know life is hard. For many people, life is very challenging. I absolutely understand and acknowledge that. Hands on heart, truly do. For people who, like myself, are capable and available in the space to kind of explore some of the shit mentally that you need to, or theologically, don't know where that came from, but to explore some of the concepts that I'm exploring today, mate, round of applause. I'm here, okay? I'm with you 100%. We're together on this. For me, do I have deep, meaningful conversations like this with, people that I'm surrounded by? No, not very often. I do have conversations with people, and sometimes I progress further than, I may normally not be comfortable with. This really is the place for me, and will always be the place, probably, unless something changes, that And I would like it to be the place that I have it with someone. I'm not going to lie. I really would like it to be the place with one person. I don't think it's as limiting as that, shall I say. I think it's more where for whatever reason about the voice and me having this podcast and exploring these themes in my life like this and putting it out to the entire universe to hear, there's a reason why I'm doing that. I don't know why. I'm going to cry again. I don't know in its entirety why I'm doing that. All I know is I need to keep doing it. So, and I will. And I will. So anyway, the end. The end. This podcast has been really interesting, may I say, today. I've only had 2 drinks, so you'd be like, are you drunk, Amanda? No, I think it's just where I've had some really deep, meaningful conversations this last weekend, not only with this particular person that I'm talking about, but with, like I said, on Saturday night, I went out with 2 girlfriends and, yeah, we had some really honest, open conversations about things. And, you know, one of the ladies that I'm thinking about, who's just one of the most beautiful people you'll ever meet in your life, just asked me some particular questions where, for a period of time I've really distracted myself with other things, to be honest, which I'm very good at. In saying that, and I'm still trying to get my shit together. Give me a second. By saying that, I think it's important to be vulnerable, to expand, to explore, to be open and honest. And I'm still working on it every single motherfucking day, mate. As tears come down my face, I'm still... And yeah, I put my hand up and I'm hoping... No, I'm not hoping. I know that I'm being held in some way, shape or form. I don't know. But all I know is I'll just keep going. So yeah, I'm just going to put some music on for a second. Give me a second. Bam, bam. Wait, I'm going to have a drink. When I listen to this podcast back, I'll be like, fuck. I'll be like, what the fuck? No. This is why I do it, mate. Like, honestly, you know, I love talking about some of the things I talk about that are just inspire me, like, you know, maybe YouTube, maybe makeup, or maybe Chanel, Hermes, all the fancy shit. Fancy bitch. This is it. I've talked about it last week. Balls to the wall, mate. I'm fucking going out there. I'm talking about shit. I will, and you know I will. And, yeah, I think we need to talk like this. I want people to talk to me like this. I want to talk more like this to people in my life, and not just on this podcast, but to everybody. But anyway, I think I'm going to leave it there. Thank you, as always, for listening. If you're interested and you want to talk about some of the subjects I talked about it today, you can email me at my email address being info@thetequilahour.com.au, on Insta, on YouTube. Check it out. I'm going to go because someone's about to come home, walk in the door, and I'll catch you next time. See ya. Bye.